Mame fa say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
Yes sir.
Yeah, your relation.
Thank you.
Honorable Mahai.
Meje osimi ni aba.
Akwa abanso.
Meje me da wase.
Eh na de mama magu MPP. Me te say Dr. to force kasa na machi ho. Me ti so obi kasa MPP 2038.
Ya yo mo osoro nkete.
Akwa nkete.
Mo ye osoro nkete. Yes.
Mo jo bo. Asa na mo pese enya ayi Ghana yet to say ayi your friend say these countries here one president in a communist country, one political party state in it just will be aqua will be a many of us. I would want to all the African countries be brave to Rwanda, any Rwanda and Yepe. Rwanda economy. Yeah, Rwanda. More political stability, or more democracy fashion in the African way. And we be a democracy idea. I mean, say, yes, America for liberating for me, so your level of thinking, any outlook you know munyepe nti we must find a democracy a reasonable with our tradition and our culture. Okay.
Nti me gidi say only one the cardinal thing na high no nipa bi wo ha o ma no the authority and the way to play this democracy they will abuse it enu bi na ehun wo MPP abanum no look emra no hwehwe parliament NS parliament say or say abano say abano nya excessive for expenditure. That is what the law says. But these people were not even, they didn't even care what parliament does. So come off from the parliament to ebeye ho enka frontier health service enka ankoso enka COVID-19 expenditure cost basa enka ankoso enka cathedral enka yansi nti edu ba bia otimu dwen ho say classical democracy no. Is it really good? But I don't think say NDC we are prepared say ye pese ye transfer forever. In fact, ye be bia say na Ghana for the be because it's about the needs of the people. When you meet the needs, omo kasa na utie, omo who say you are accountable to them, they will give you the opportunity.
I'm
Matuaso.
Okay, so honorable him na Mr. Ringobit Kasimbi because ye who budget presentation our parliament ya any yebebo figures no say bia this year 2025 200 billion and bia and only your budget sika ye dey bo man ho akonoma ye di we ko sector we ye di we ko agency we ye di we ko department we ye di we ewura ha ya tibi said ye ne Dr. Kesa to forcing akwa brusi e dey na kire say the figure here buboy nyina no dey say ye dey ye no enu an ye dey kwakwe because can for atakọ parliament ya budget odi ko tudwan obiebiem we kwa ha we wura ha enya planted for food and jobs ya spend I think more than 3 billion ya aduane hutimi ye din wo Ghana ha e bi ne ye ka hwe force nkokonko annually $400 million rice $2 billion in annually no ha dwenti e dey na kire say mu die die sika na ye body no ko grounds won ye de akoye adwuma unu
ba medase ne ma ye budget we different from previous budget ni for ata budget ne say a lot of finance na e cost for ata budget mo no a lot of them foreign support and also no ye minister for loans one day one loan enche no akoji euro bond enunti unim say presentation we mu you to force nkan me nim say mutie na o say our only other say ka non tax revenue ye benya ye other the only source of finance say ye need that so no your treasury bills you raising it locally unim say now we can't go to the international bond market enko resist ka wo
okay
and this enya bilateral loan support ye benya we can't get and I say IMF support no so no say enya concessionary grant and our loan in sanka enti ye very much restricted enti most of this financing thing that we are going to do is local finance and I'm very hopeful enti appropriation na ye ko pass no a lot of the revenue measures no tax revenue non-tax revenue concessions grants and ye ko pass and also remember say unim say presentation no ewura ato forcing ema ya so te say we are going to cut expenditure rationalization. You're going to cut expenditure in a lot of areas.
Okay.
And unti expenditure so we increase expenditure and stimulate economy no na ama growth akosoro. Enti mate se minimum MPP for can say adena omu growth rate say economy na say or yes omu say economy no. Now so omu growth rate 5%. Now so ye project say omu yebe growth rate of 4% or is it 3%? Oh, so omu complain. So what is omu making those statements? It is because you see they are throwing dust into the eyes of the public. Now I am surprised. Say Minister for Finance, the immediate past Minister for Finance, only di nyomo we achi.
Muhammad Ada.
I mean Ada. So broka we go with recklessness. Atu force in your mama, they are not reckless. The more you spend in the economy, the greater the growth rate.
Okay.
But the less you are spending in the economy because all liabilities to take care of. Remember, say, so the cocoa board the car. Now you could yakana, sikana yetuano, and call the productive sectors. It is just Besiana Yabona Yokusiane Kaedeno. Enti Massa Sikan, ye growth, I was Sikano.
Okay.
Because every system no mako. Energy sector depth na the Yokotiano. Sikano, young from productive sectors.
Okay.
Enti ebema sika ye de be productive sectors no akofem.
Okay.
The more I know kofem no the growth rate will go down.
Okay, so it is say cocoa sector no e ka me say 32 billion.
Yes.
Na bia wako bobosia na dia kwa akotua.
Yes.
Na bosia for no so da wachi. Na yield interest. Edaho. But sa wakwaje bosia ene bia cocoa farmers no incentives o mu nya no de ama wo mo a omu produce more.
Yes.
Enti ubenya bi dia film na wudi.
Na economy na enunti.
Na economy ni.
Yes, enunti a we need to be realistic with the growth rate because say emeno ka say your debt ye kaide 721 billion. That's the public debt. Say sikana ye nya no and yes, you could to your public in the next 4 years, you bet you 280 million public Ghana cities public debt.
Million or is it billion or million?
Billion. 280 billion.
Okay.
And 130 billion no, is domestic, and 150 billion is foreign. All those monies, it won't be in the productive sector until the growth rate will not be increased. Say some boss I can go. Look, electricity. ECG debt amode 68 billion. Cocoa board cow mode cocoa board e de 32.5 billion Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Because of the rollover, because ye koji sikano ye under supply. Last year sikano koji ye ya mo cocoa beans e de mo enti afi e wo say tua sa aka no nko so the 480 million e be kind debt we liability. Afi another external debt servicing net for na maka ho asem Ministry of Health and liabilities for 15 billion. Ministry of Health outstanding debt apart from these liabilities MMDAs no and the Ministry of Health for no and 15 billion outstanding debt for Ministry of Health na 7 billion. Energy sector financing shortfalls $2.2 billion. I cannot go bebre cocoa road contract I awarded 1.02 billion. And because of this cost, we need to find money and pay this cost to be able to stand on our feet. And you have to cut a lot of the expenditures down. And the more you cut the expenditure, you will not stimulate the economy. The more you do, you cut down expenditure, you will not stimulate agri sector, or stimulate the industrial sector, or stimulate the manufacturing sector, and also the growth on. And that's why we have a modest growth rate. But say you are to force in Jiran and so a normal way in kakran. Now economy in Jiran and so pay what I see. And the brilliance of Dr. Tuforsen, normal what demonstrates. MPP for catch their own beside and say, you see, be levy, you be betting tax, you be COVID-19 emission tax. A henny benya bibidi ashim. And you have to force and say because of tax rebates and tax ceilings yamma abra encoded to the field no he's coming to cut that rate down from 6% to 4%. And Onkwa will save us 3.41. It will give us 3.41 billion. And you're more than e-levy. E-levy 1.9. At the bottom tax is 1.9. And uhe enyoma and they demonstrate here. A child say, NDC are ready. And you're sure you're demonstrating BB. And the most important thing I'm a fan of budget no. Taxes. Any tax rationalization. NDC ni John Mahama and I'm to force and so say e-levy no affected the vulnerable group. Omo money be bojo for betting tax emranti ni adwuma eye betting. It's not just the betting no, because every bet has a tax on it. But the winners, what win here we no say at 10%. Eye unfair tax on the youth. I say COVID why do you still keep COVID in our way books? Emission levy. Say wo nana wote hai unika o ofa passenger car ofa trotro ofa Uber neighbor yese wo obi wo car no ye emission eyi nwisie eno nti wo to tax for obi an car eyi nwisie enti the vulnerable are going to suffer to force and let's cut it off. Let's use the tax on the corporate world, mining, quarry. They are big time companies. They repatriate a lot of them outside our country. And instead of e-levy no, yema mining companies into tax ebe cover e-levy. Unya baya eye social democratic to say NDC obeden way. And we are plugging all the loopholes. You use our taxes way through where the alternative no has been made available by the Minister for Finance through the budget our presenting. And I share enyoma NDC promise here in our manifesto. Na me pese Ghana fu etie mi nyina. Wa otifie kofa NDC manifesto. Na kofa state of the nation na no president Mahama mae. Na fa to budget ato force mae no ho e progression from the promises. Enti ne president Mahama ba na no ba no all kind so na no na ne obeya ama Ghana for no na ayete se ne all kind NDC manifesto
yeah,
or say national apprenticeship program, fee free policy, sanitary pad, women's bank, disability for because school free,
the big push agenda.
All these things found space in the state of the nation, and all these things have found space in the budget.
Okay.
And to say me you question anwa, most of revenue ibe here no domestic. And I Minister of Finance and Finance Minister don't just wake up. No, I can't say sika we ni no, there is budget hearing. GRE. All the baby taxes ni nyina. MI ceilings about their capabilities ni ombetimi aye.
Okay.
It is scientific. Enti media say plus or minus 5. Most of the resources are yes no yen can be called their domestic revenue.
Okay, because honorable William say me share enne 2025 budget no. Say me share allocation to various sectors or programs. The big push kwa manifesto no kwa na 10 billion.
Yes.
But enne no why no 13.85 billion.
Of course.
Na ohwe no sika ya twetwe sika ya checheche send ya wo kan nyina no we nyina ye revenue a was ye generate domestically.
Yes.
Ghana eya
of course.
Ghana Revenue Authority through one mobilization of revenue do mo ebenya ye nkwa euro bond market.
Yep.
Hey ebe yiri o
Joy.
Ana meba se meba
yep.
Taxes so a ebe mi esika yi levy matwem betting tax matwem emisie tax matwem and the Adama is 1.7 so matwem and just a matwa taxes bako 5 ba mo yi taxes we no nyina mu twa 5 mu firi hono no a yen san so kwenti mi nkona international market en san so nkobo bosia no. So these things, these policies, yeah, one manifesto more. Matwetwa sika kase no. Achievable. Is this something that target a master tia we bet me a meet because ni now 2025 budget team we bet me a enroll.
Okay, you know about Yemfa e-levy my 1.9 billion. That is the maximum still on e-levy demand. Betting tax am 480 million. So basically the two of them, no, betting tax my 280 million or 300 something million. The two of them Kambum just a little over 2 billion Ghana cedis.
Okay.
tax refund ceilings in Kwan.
Okay, and emitie honorable no 11 no 1.9 billion.
Very good.
Betting tax 180 million.
180 million.
Yeah.
And the two of them just around 2 billion. But tax refund ceilings in Kwan, every 3.4 billion.
Okay.
So it will make up for 2, no?
Okay.
It will even over make it up for the 2. And remember, say, we are also a tax rationalization, company tax, mining tax, ceiling, quarry tax, and it's annual money just to rake in the needed revenue. To make sure, say, make sure, also remember, say, we have other sources of revenue apart from taxes. Ghana for no chilo tax and so, but they are two bigger companies also. They must fund our development. They must help us develop the country. No money opportunity to come and expand their business. And to me, sure say, the needed revenue handles are. Be a nyoma winner. Na utie budget na. A nyoma President Mahama Eshebonyina. Maybe no bibi same say. Na nyoma I say be nyina we are 3 years aka yedi na be ye. And I'm saying President Mahama onye Dr. Baumio no aka say if I fix it, what will I do when I become president? President Mahama say, only Ghana for assign contract, social contract. Yedi abasha nensa. Enti ni obeye no 120 days ewo ho. Ni obeye no a year ewo ho. Ni obeye no 4 years ewo ho. Ni obobo su nyina ye nyoma o se yebeye. Enti me pretty confidence because of ye rely on external donors much of the time. Because ni mai higher adwene say it me pass appropriation. Now almost like 40% of revenue na ebe here no e donor funded. Donors no so no you can't force them to bring you money. Untimi force some for sika no mra. Enti se mra no so no mbenya ba no omo anya ma expenditure was here no yentimi nye. But this time we have to cut our cost according to our size. Eno any doctor force in person kire. Okay. Eno any John Mama e dey ahye ne nsa se o meka kire Ghana for. Enti na ni peti e bia enka minim se mo hwe no TV so now so ya ye wo chamber ho no ye na ehun se John Mama wa kan pipi for anu atom e dey no mbeka ogu party o se 24-hour economy no or the policy document no e ba and we are going to start implementing the 24-hour economy afi President Mahama say sanitary pad no promise enkwala no o de ba o de ahye budget no first year admission fee na or say obientu admission fee no or the ahye budget no nursing and teacher training allowances no or the ahye budget no afi women development bank we twa 51 million Ghana cedis e de ato ho mate so obi bi sa say ai bank recapitalization kura no hia sika o hia na o de ati bank e 400 million ade na we twa 50 million obi sa me questions ah eye me nwanwa. Okay. Then you know me school ho. Ni President Mahama person o kire ni say. And the women development yate ana say yente. We need to set it up. Sika wo ya watwa yi. Enya capital a ye di koto bank ho for adwuma ye di be ye no. Eye sika ye di betwa ye di be free bank na say. Ye di be identify say which are the areas ye di bank ni be si. All the feasibility and structural program ye be ye. Okay. E do say ye capitalize bank na. The money to capitalize the bank will also be announced. Okay. Into your mom
51 no feasibility study.
Not just the feasibility, okay. How to set up the bank itself.
Set up the bank itself.
Okay. Yes.
Say baby will cry, baby will.
Yeah, your baby will high, baby. That is what that money. Okay. What you see the initial capital to start the women development bank. We will give this amount. I say free secondary education program no for the first time budgetary support 3.5 billion. Okay. And yet just verbal. And you know where we are going to do it? We are going to uncap the get fund. Meaning about me not here. Get fund sikana ejije. Aban we the get fund sikano akwaji dachi bond. There are two things that are affecting get fund. Or the sikano akwaji 1.5 billion. Yeah, this is sikano ahead of time.
Dollars are nice.
$1.5 billion.
Okay.
Into any time one. Yeba jije get fund sikano. Emu 66% ekutua sa sikano.
Odi akosi awowa. Okay.
Ene yaji sikano. Ene yedi ni net se ne wo pesa wo ye nkokọ na wa wi nkosua ne na akokɔ ne nam ho enti odi akosia wowa
agi sika na be
1.5 ndi agi adi ɛna ejije get fund sika na NDC wo ho no yegi sika na nyina kɔ get fund ye kyeche ema educational institutions no ɛna aban we ba yi odi sika no akɔtɔ akɔgye awowa akosia wowa abandada na ho MPP aban na kufu ado aban no ani baumi aban no
ye magu no
yes odi akosia wowa enti ejije sika no taxes no wi a emu 66% ekotua ka no bi na 34% no eno so ye capped capture say sika no bi ka eka central government ho 2017 abano passe the Capping and Realignment Act institutions bi wo ho a get fund ka ho musika o moje no abano gi bi ka central government no ho ansa na kakra ko get fund distribute eno nti our secondary school yensiye no
so the purpose behind this get fund
was dead. Okay. MPP Diego get fund completely.
Okay.
At force and say, ye ma dedicated funding for free SHS. First, ye on cap get fund no. Ye cap na free so no. Enti 100% sika ni nyina no. Ebeko get fund ho. Ne to so mienu. Dachi fund no. Aban na nkasa age fund no utua. Ye tua sa sika no. Ye ma get fund ntua. Aban age aka liabilities a ewa aban no ho. This is creativity, okay, ingenuity.
So get fund no. Ya di akosia wowa e di akwaje bosia 1.5 billion dollars aba be di akufu aduna bai mo aba be di
very much
e je say get fund ya no gusu e kasa no e gina but President Mahama ban say sa e ka no wasom o mu betua
o ma enka get fund books mu
okay na get fund na enne ne ho enti sika bia ye benya wo get fund mu no ye di education sector
yes and no na ye di be dedicated funding for the free SHS no
because ya cancer free SHS no e hi ne ye sika
free usually about rely on annual budget funding amount mu which doesn't come
okay
and enti school no egu kura headmasters for ntimi nka no enti ankola no adu ano no omudi egwemi no omodi banku there be a buradua but this time under the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama we are going to get a dedicated funding yet be free SHS no enu ti afi 3.5 billion eco free SHS mo no
honorable mobile memo
oh yaba afi 546 million Ghana cedis free curriculum based textbooks menu yaba enkola no usua de for years textbooks are omode besua de bi ni ho enti core subjects from basic level akosi JHS no they didn't even have textbooks you are dedicated for 564.6 million for textbooks as a school feeding program and also na nkola no you feed omo 1 cedi 50 pesos eno mpona 1 cedi 20 pesos na no ya budget e pass ye January budget and you go 1 cedi 50 say they call 2 cedi that is 33% increase.
Okay.
Yenim say it is not enough but send you be a tighten the belt no nyame ya dom na ye je economy isi ho wi a ye betum amana kwa anim bio.
Okay, honorable Yambra 9.93 billion allocation for national health insurance scheme. And also what boss say national health insurance levy so say and also sa
en hell no so ya capo no
sa
nti no so no president mama say obeyi cap na free ho na sika na ebe ba no ebe ko national health insurance no ho no mutim dia ye djuma omudie nti afi bosika no so sika na ya allocate no
9.93 billion Ghana cedis
very
national
health insurance scheme. Okay. Very good.
Nti sika bia ye be digide free national health insurance levy mu bia no
ekom nti ye be claims payment ye be non communicable diseases aban so be fund for non Mahama case. So what is our boss our policies no so
manifesto ni
very good enti
when su crown cap one cap yin na manifesto
manifesto say ebe on cap no na as part of the 120 days yeah president mama ede mine enti me sure say in the minds of MPP for ne omo MPs ne to ho mutie you know any MPP for we fie nyina etie nyina me sure say in their minds what they were saying is say look enyoma we nyina wo ho a enka yebetimi aye ama oma we akoso
ya sukra de yenya sika
ya anye na sene ade adwoma ama yeyi ye be ye dan na konwai abedi ensa biom MPP for nyina na wuro mutrim eno na ma ato forcing Afenyo Markins ye man no kwan say onkasa no he was completely confused. He was dazed. Or ye mesmerized. No nim ni oye because nsem nyina wakan wie nsempa no ye hwie gu ho enti minu aba ene budget yi de mi hu budget a ama hope sada
onim yen hwe District Assembly Common Fund 7.51 billion Ghana cedis allocation for District Assembly Common Fund.
Yes.
Previous administration neko.
And also another big issue. Look, at the center of your democracy we decentralization. Into kind Article 34 our constitution no more. Will say every district in the budget statement, every district, every region must be covered in the budget statement. But enam say central government entimi nyam puntujuma every district in Tino. We have a law regime Emma Quine Emma Abano distribute resources to every district. Send a budget never passing. Since the assembly where there will be a school that is built, there will be a hospital that is built, there will be a road that is built. Now basa na Article 34 directive principle of state policy no. Now koso MPP for buy no. Unim ni omoye. The first is to cap a lot of the state revenues. No? Capping and Realignment Act is the worst act I've ever seen because it keeps a Disassociation center. Then they decide what to do with the money. Grounds, no? And we are not just sending 7.51 billion. No? Yeah, the say, and we are going to insist say 80% of these resources must go to the assemblies. Say 80 assemblies no sika e was center hano atwam because sesikano ko assembly a omo nanim suku a asai e wo hia manchene ana kwa denden okay ana chechenchwa okay so that it will go to the very crony who can look of the country and sesikano ko assembly a e ho na mpuntu no koso central government there no oye major project a assembly ni ntimi nye enti NDC President Mills and President Mahama e wo ho no a lot of infrastructure projects because na common fund no the intended purpose. Now this common fund represents 7%. Emrano, I say you should do between 5 and 7%. The immediate past government between 5 and 7%. Immediate past government they were doing less than 5%. And no nema podo edo court. And my court ruling say Aban should go to reconciliation. Omo mfanya adwuma. President Mahama say or the year adwuma. Now he's not just doing it or increasing allocations, no increasing allocations. So I'll be making sure say 80% of those resources echo to the assemblies. Now assemblies no want to assembly maya ya to obey you. Me say the next assembly election. Next assembly election. Then say you benya the cream de la cream. Quality people are. Omo bi enso betimi aboa ama local governance akoso. Me nuaba obekọ assembly okwa woman for say ukwa this assembly no or assembly man unya hwema omo na yedi watem obekọ ugodu assembly ho bibia nkoso wa unya resources bia mfiri ho onso yedi watem enti nipa bebre wo say omo de omo hye local governance mu no omo fo omo ho hyem ene President Mahama say o hye mu kena 100 million Ghana cedis as allowance for assembly members enti he is in for impuntu not just at the center but decentralization kasa and ODP no.
Okay na obianim said this budget no there enka teacher trainee allowance there enka ebeya ade anka yente ho asem yenim say bi eja ye friend say this loan scheme and anka modeba but finance minister say teacher trainee allowance no enko 2025 budget team no 203 million Ghana cedis. Nursing trainee allowances 480 million Ghana cedis. But na ye hwe kwan say o mo allowances ne de enka loan scheme ya say de didi nkomo. So what change?
Who say President Mahama buy no what a team for education dialogue team. Amoma koshia. We are to issue a white paper on Nyomukoshia.
Okay.
we could have another discussion on the nursing training allowances. But say betwa mbrem ne yentwa mbremu a egusi yemra.
Okay.
Yenya ntwamu ne de ewo ho. Nti se etua wie na if you have another conversation say yenyina yegitum say nursing and teacher training allowance must go and replace with loaner. Send ya promise na we will come back to it. But see idea yenya no, you have no option but to capture it in the budget and to make provision for it and interpret the mama and make a provision. No, I'm sure say at the final stage we are based on recommendation education review committee and education dialogue committee no kushia no, there will be a white paper near who the way forward with the allowances. But see idea he's staying true to the Ghanaian youth ne emrantie ne mai omo nursing training mu ye nyina omo nyina ka omo rep nyina ka education dialogue na ye no ho meje decision omo take ye no be implemented later on, but see idea it must be captured.
Okay. Honorable yemra say no omai no ye nyina ye hwese the backbone be kwa akogina agric.
Good.
You was agriculture chief on crack
agriculture.
Come with you kana ha. And you know with the introduction of planting for food and jobs no na Ghana for nim se be manuane ebun kam dia faso. But ye hunu sa after spending more than 3 billion Ghana cedis planting for food and jobs no aduane ho oden. Woko dwami a tomatoes gu ho a ebe ka kira wo se efi Burkina jene free ho a ebe ka kira wo se efri Mali jene ku esi Mali afa jene bo ayede na ayede den enom ne ade this time around no more by NDC are buying say 1.5 billion Ghana cedis allocation for agriculture for economic transformation agenda.
Very good. When we say one of the ministries I want to ministry for trade and industry and agribusiness. So there's going to be a link between the agri ministry and the agri trade ministry.
Okay.
One of the major policies are a feature in the SONA, a feature a manifesto, a feature or her agriculture for economic transformation. AET, agriculture for economic transformation. There is a portion of this amount going into poultry. There's a portion going into fishery. There's a portion going into food crop.
So 1.5 billion.
Yes, there's a portion going into cash crop.
Okay.
But innovation back one. Minister for Finance Eddie Abane say it doesn't make entwasumu say minister back ababegina parliament. I can every sector ministry be asem. Enti what we are going to do is say every sector ministry ebeba with a comprehensive plan based on ceilings here Eddie Amomi. With enti Minister of Agric beba. Enti say no her budget na within 1 hour 20 minutes no I can budget na we. You departed from the previous year. You can't even because no credit say. And some na you have to forcing ebe kan efa agric ministry no. Omo de nyoma no budget here no if agric ministry na buy. Na free trade but na free trade ministry na buy. So the better person to explain them will be the trade minister. Na have to forcing be ne say ono be ma all the financial bones no. Na the various ministers at the flesh na be ka ho. Nti me sure say send the president mama anije
it will be a bit designing
obia policy no based on sika ye twama no.
Okay.
You bring us comprehensive implementation plan.
Okay.
Which usually finance minister na be kan ni nyina. But because I'm no twantini twa na bridge.
Okay.
Ye ma abbreviation. Intine minister for communication be ba be ka kire say sika ye twama minister for communication no. Onim say we a policy document na ban dia bai. Estimate na nkasa be ba ye be discuss estimate na nkasa e wo floor of parliament committees e ba be hwe. Enti ministry bia the comprehensive detailed assessment of what they want to use sika no for. Enti me sure say agric minister no ba agric for economic transformation enkoko nkete ka ho eye fishery sector no ka ho eye cash crop cocoa production in cocoa sector no ka ho any other crops ka ho no e be man in detailed analysis but ye ka kire me ni say President Mama asi e de simpuntu kwan so because ye agrarian economy say you so agric me ye wo arable lands ye wo land a eboa e support to agriculture but ye higher pa no one the land tenure system 2 financing enti say ye ma financing especially youth into agriculture na che say ye build the economy up. One, e create employment. Two, yenya import substitution enyoma ye kra e basa na ye woka say ye kra jeni ye kra ntosi ni nyoma no say ye ma economic transformation ye adwuma e be ma ye nkwan ama yenya import substitution na sidi no ho aye den.
Okay,
e be ma ye mrante no so adwuma aye na afeed into the industries aye say ye be 24-hour economy no agri sector component ye wom no ye benya the industry ni raw materials e de aye enti menu aba me sure say ye hwe agri sector see any core agri sector ho a say na ye nkwala na say agri 60% of our economy. Now so ye nyina ye nim say export to primary products enti amasika ene mfaso so ye nya wo ho no ye nya say implement budget way to it core me sure say sa benefit no e be ba man.
Okay, so ohwe allocation ni mu nyina the big push program no agenda no so pa 13.85 billion Ghana cedis.
I am so happy with President Mahama. Do you know
the big push na ya dey na woman?
Do you know why? Africa, we heard the World Bank report. Underdeveloped countries are capital expenditure as a percentage of GDP. Capital expenditure as a percentage of GDP. Say a person you develop here, World Bank agree. Expert in economics, in finance, agree say economy be a person in a grow no must invest in the capital expenditure portion. Inti obia de budget ba, ne fa ni capex no. So goods and services send in the no. E ya de aye cost spend. Emfa resources mre yin biom. Emfa bibia mre. But so unya babia, ye betim de resources na share. Na ede returns abre ye ya. Look, mama a typical example. University of Ghana Medical Center. A capital expenditure etua ne hoka.
Okay.
Atuabo gas plant. Capital expenditure etua ne hoka.
Greater Accra
Regional Hospital. Afi oko tema oko airport terminal 3 etua ne hoka.
MPS.
Those are capital expenditure projects. So we are buying na wanya and stimulate growth in the economy. And it near big push in the person and say, ye disassi cano be share economy num, ye de besi aquine, ye de beya aquine, ye de besi schools, ye de be hospitals. And tiwa wo krumwa, upe quine, upe school, upe we, no bompa say, ye bet my implement a day way. Now in the next budget, you may increase a day way from 13 billion, I 20 billion in po.
Okay.
Because eno ne ba ye suku no be ye ya kwan be ye hospitals na ye go ho no e be ye e blocks no betimi asisi. And is this big push the big infrastructure plan of President Mahama wo. Look, in 2020 budget no manifesto no it was $10 billion. Me no nyina nim say between 2020 and now normal has increased. To true faith in Ghanaians, he didn't just state the 10 billion or the 13 billion to make up for inflation, to make up for nyoma asisa. And Major say it's one of the key things in fact one of the first thing on your priority list no the big push because NDC by or hini bia empuntu here no President Mahama do okata say oh by there you nim say oh empuntu hene una osi akwan una oyi akwan una osi dan una osi hospitals enti wo by maye enti it's good that we are catching her.
So former finance minister Adam said we never collected or implemented the betting tax.
I am truly surprised and shocked today.
Ladies and gentlemen, betting tax that they said they have abolished. We never collected betting tax. We never implement the betting tax. So to come and tell Ghanaians that you have abolished something that was not implemented is to deceive the people of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, betting tax that they said they have abolished. We never collected betting tax. We never implement the betting tax. So to come and tell Ghanaians that you have abolished something that was not implemented is to deceive the people of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, betting tax that they said they have abolished. We never collected betting tax. We never implement the betting tax. So to come and tell Ghanaians that you have abolished something that was not implemented is to deceive the people of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, betting tax that they said they have abolished. We never collected betting tax. We never implement the betting tax. So to come and tell Ghanaians that you have abolished something that was not implemented is to...
Honorable.
Miniaba, and it tax the end about me as so become no.
You levy.
Minia,
You levy.
tax about me. Oh, say me no time. I catch it. Say betting tax, no. Every key 180 million Ghana cedis for government. Some catch it.
2024.
2024.
Per reporter,
Yes. 180 million Ghana cedis.
Hey, some they be wo kremo.
Betting tax, no. You passing on parliament.
Okay. Yeah, bay.
In the 2024 budget, no.
Okay.
We passed betting tax in 2023.
2023.
Yes.
Not 2020. Okay.
You pass a betting tax. You pass company law, emission levy. You pass it around the same time.
Okay.
We spoke against it. You kasa wo ho. Emrante na ATM no.
Finance minister say one more implement.
Emrante na ATM no. Ene maya na ATM no. Mo twa betting no. Ye bisa mo say mo 10% no. Amane tiana wante.
Oh, me time ko kan me fa course be 2 bisa.
O fa court a. O fa course.
Me fa course 2 bisa o mo twa betting. Me wo 2 me. 2 minutes na me bisa o mo say. Betting tax na start ye. Me pay 2 course per 0302208090. Me ba cho wo twa betting na frame. Me twa betting en frame. 0302208090. Betting tax no. I mean Adam say Oma implemented. They never collected or implemented betting tax. Enti mu amu twan ba honorable say per report ekuta wo mu omunya 180 million Ghana cedis 2024. Kwame ana ontwa betting. Ontwa betting dey mfa no. Ontwa betting. Ah, na Dr. Bomia so betwa betting tax.
And he didn't tell the number of your super chum. Also, be betting tax. And he better one for your maiden or super chum.
Also, we are no obi twa betting. Enti ye misano. Ye nya obi twa betting today ye misani pakro.
Hello, Mama.
Yes, darling.
Me try bet 82,000 something. Why is it that so? Sika eba no, 1,700 with some points. It's almost one of the more saying and say, almost betting tax and bar in front of Mucha. Ombe Yama, you parliament one day in front of Mucha, man. In front of Mucha, Ombe my young Ghana youth, me rap parliament one day. Did I say?
Oh, what's it? Ultra bet. Oh, me producer, I free. Hello, good evening.
Hello,
Abama, betting tax no. What should be that? What we implement here?
So, betting tax, you know, say a musica, and say, look, I'm tea of one BB. They say, no budget now, financial support.
Bacho, Medasi. I'll try baby out to me. I budget, Bacho. The obi let me pay obia honorable Fana West na ye me pay obi obeka betting tax me nya obi so o twa bi di 2,000 plus almost no amane ba so nya 1,500
the 10% was actually implemented and I dare the former minister for finance say e dey tax na Dr. Baumia so betwam no nti 180 million na ehun wo ho no what was the source of finance eti menua the Nemeka finally ne say Ghana for democratic revolution na 2024 omo de farm no omo ye no I dey NDC buy no ehun emfaso e na start ba no the first enyoma president Mahama so be in the 120 days no waye mu bebre ya ye 60 days just 4 days na abetoso
na 60 days no no magu MPP
enti say omo free osono aye osono ketenkete enti ye can say big push na ye promise ye no ye frase 2025 year mo
okay
academic fee ye say first year ubenya first year free academic fee no ye frase Afe wa we disabled. Wo de school no untu fees no throughout we stay at tertiary level.
Okay, the oye disabled sabe obi a wadi dem kakra.
Wadi dem.
Kan na wom ne nsa
yes.
ya no. O ti reach mu. Obeko
tertiary no free.
3 years ni nyina.
3 years or say 4 years so.
4 years.
Eh free. Distribution of sanitary pads. Yamfa ya no anka ne keke. Ya deliver. Ya de ahye budget no. Yes, idea yo. 3.5 billion dedicated funding for free SHS. 13 billion big push. Yeah, they call infrastructure, including e-blocks and President Mahama CC, you know.
Okay.
Any acquaint.
Okay.
And to win you and say, Ghana for one to Abanangu. Me sure say Obi or Ghana to budget ni beer have been convinced. Me know me share yenu pani in money Ghana, Franklin Kujo. Maybe any post. Also, he didn't see it coming.
No.
He didn't see say you to forcing. Ebe yusu tax ceiling no. A proggy the loopholes are ebeto. There's a fresh air. Now make a man say me no. We and Dr. Stephen Ade who here. MPP stand supporter Dr. Stephen Ade. Or say in the first 100 days of President Mahama no. Apart from Kwame Nkrumah, President BA ni ho awaba Ghana, auto President Mahama in the first 100 days.
Yeah, that's.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.